Welcome to Main Street Gamers Fireside Chat, Episode 3. I'll be your host today, Taylor Davis, alongside Chris Ingalls. All right, Chris. So, this was week 3 in the Summer of Xbox Live, Summer of Arcade. There we go. With the hit title FlashBack getting a It's not a port. They completely. Is it the same story? We'll get into it. I don't know.
It's the same. It's like the same basic story, but
FlashBack.
pretty terrible.
FlashBack. So FlashBack. That was a. Do you even know what kind of game it was? Like Super Nintendo or like?
I think it was on PC originally.
Was it originally? Okay.
Yeah.
So you've played it. You've had it for a while now. What was your thoughts about this game?
It was really bad. I don't know. It was pretty terrible. That's all I like. That's what it really boils down to. There's a lot of things that I didn't like about it.
Describe like what kind of game is this? I really don't like. Flashback doesn't really make any sense to me. Of like a title.
Yeah, the Flashback title doesn't know much. Okay, so it's a 2.5D. Sorry, so it looks 3D but it plays 2. Well, that's what they call it when it looks 3D but plays 2D.
Okay.
It's a 2.5D platformer shooter. So you hear that and you're like, oh, that sounds kind of cool, like Super Mario Brothers meets Call of Duty. And you're like, oh, so this could be pretty sweet.
And it's by Ubisoft.
I was really excited for it.
I was excited for you.
Yeah, and I was like, oh, this is gonna be a great game. Guess what? Wasn't. It wasn't made by Ubisoft. That was my first. Like, I thought it was made by Ubisoft too. It was a company called Vector Cell, and Ubisoft just published it.
Oh, that explains a lot.
Yeah. So the game opens up, and you're like this guy who doesn't know where he is, and you're in this jungle, and you like you shoot at these robots with a gun, and you find this guy, and he takes you to this portal, and it's too much really fast. Like the first like thing you have to do is you have to pick up a security card off of a guy's dead body, and
God, tell me more about the security card.
Sounds like the dumbest thing. I hate it so much. Like that just is the dumbest thing to me, and it sounds silly. Like it's a silly thing to complain about, but aren't we past the point where I need to like look at every dead body that I shoot and just be like, oh, does he have the key that I need to get to the next part of the level?
Well, this game, it's a remake of the original, so like. I guess maybe that's the audience for this game, like the old school gamers that are.
You have to update it.
I guess it didn't really make sense as a part of a Summer of Arcade lineup because like all these other ones are like new, fresh games. Like honestly, when I first played Brothers, I was like, "Well, Brothers is gonna be the worst game," and then Flashback comes out and it's just absolutely terrible.
Well, you could argue that. The game this week, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, is also kind of a throwback because they're kind of throwing it back to like those. Like the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles arcade fighter beat 'em up games.
Yeah, but those games were good. They weren't like, like.
Yeah, but people like the original Flashback. So I think what happened with this game is they're like, oh, people used to love this game, but like the concept just didn't work today. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I totally understand that. And I think
like there was just no way to make it work today.
Yeah.
And I mean. The controls were okay. There was another thing that really bugged me. Here was second pet peeve after the security card thing. So like there would be times where you have to jump up and grab a ledge.
Okay.
But you don't press the jump button to jump up and grab the ledge. You press up on the thumbstick.
Oh yeah.
So to jump sideways, you press A, but to jump up, you press up on the left.
That doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So like, why isn't the same button doing both?
Yeah, I'd be really confused. Yeah.
It was really weird. Like, I could have understood if I had to press left trigger up and then press A, or like press the left trigger up and then press A, but it just didn't work out that way, and it was really, really annoying.
Was this game difficult at all? Was it very tough?
It was actually kind of tough, like, but it was tough for stupid reasons. Like, there was this one part where you had to kind of fight your way through like this obstacle course, like you're on a TV show. And you have to fight your way through this obstacle course, and it like randomly drops bombs on you. And like there's no way to tell when the bombs are going to be dropped, so you can't really dodge them. You just have to hope you don't hit them.
Oh, that's really annoying.
Yeah, so like I would have like a little bit of health left and be about to a checkpoint, and then a random bomb would just drop on me and I'd die. It was really frustrating.
All right, so you have the official written review up for Main Street Gamers. What did you give this game?
I gave the game 40 out of 100, which is an F. And well, in our Main Street Gamers terminology, it's terrible. But
it's terrible. So, do you advise playing this game at all? I mean, there's only one way to get it, so you can't really.
My the conclusion I came to in my review was if you really enjoyed the first Flashback and you're like, man, I really love that first one. Like this is pretty much the same game. Literally nothing's changed except the visuals.
Gotcha. Are the visuals nice? Does it look good?
It looks alright. The story was clunky. The missions were boring, and the controls, while they were alright, it just didn't make up for it.
All right, well, I'm excited to know that I wasn't the one who got completely screwed over out of the.
I know. We were, after you hated Brothers, I'm like, oh, that's gonna be like our least favorite of the group because I didn't think there was any way that either of the games I had would be less than satisfactory, but it happened.
It happened. So definitely avoid this game at all costs unless you are a diehard Flashback fan, which I have not met one ever in my entire life.
I don't think they exist.
So, any last comments on Flashback as the arcade?
Well, I'm gonna say one last thing that annoyed me here.
What's that?
I'm so tired of missions where it's just like go from point A to point B and then back, and I'm gonna throw some enemies in there. Stop making those game developers. I will not play those games. Stop. This has been Main Street Gamers Fireside Chat Flashback.
Drop some bombs.
Drop some bombs.